Hello everyone, Sivat here, and I wanted to bring you a video about slime blasting for Grand Blue Fantasy. Now there are already some amazing videos and guides on how to slime blast, and I would like to say thank you to all of them for being a wonderful resource and for the time and research they put into their work. Now, I'm going to put in the description a link to a YouTuber who did a much more elaborate video than this one's going to be, and also a Reddit page that clearly goes over all of the abilities and what you'll need for slime blasting. Also the wiki for all of my resources. Now, if you've made it here, then it's highly likely that you've already seen those posts and videos first. Now that being said, I first learned about slime blasting and it sounded like a great way to make XP. And I wanted to try it out for myself. So after doing my research and watching the videos and reading up, I learned what I needed to get started. But I didn't want to do that type of slime blasting. I wanted to go ahead and do it solo and see if that was something that could be done. Now with all these slime blasting videos and everything out there, they talk about tapering your damage. That was the last thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to maximize my damage and try to be able to defeat it myself. So for that I needed to have some really specific things. One of the things that they say that you need is you need to be able to do plain damage, or have a character or characters who can. The other guides all cover that aspect very well, and if you're looking for those details, please check out the links in the description, especially the Reddit page. It'll actually give you different characters and a list, and it was made quite a while ago, so there may be some more that have been added in since then. So any types of updates would be appreciated. But for what I wanted to do and do everything solo, I needed very, very, very specific things. So one of the things that I needed was I needed a weapon that was going to be able to slime blast. Now, the weapon that they pretty much tell you to stay away from is the weapon of my choice, Desparia. Now this particular weapon is going to allow my Swordmaster to do an attack and basically one-shot the slimes, which is awesome. I really like that. Now, one of the other weapons that they say is very good is the Purity Blade. Let's have a look here. I believe I do have a Purity Blade. Well, I know I have a Purity Blade somewhere. Is it this one? So yeah, this is a Purity Blade, also a weapon that they use for slime blasting, as well as there's a Spiked Club and a couple of others. Again, they have full in-depth guides on those already and what you can actually use. Now, I did try to use out the Purity Blade in my build here, and as you see, my Purity Blade isn't leveled up at all. I don't know if you did level it up if it would work properly, but for my purposes, it didn't work at all. It did quite a big chunk of damage, but not enough to one-shot the slime. So that being said, I had my weapon of choice, and I actually managed to pull that particular weapon, so I was very happy about that. I did not have the Swordmaster class at the time that I started wanting to slime blast, so I did actually have to do that. So I did have to look up on how to unlock the Swordmaster class and go through those steps as well. That did take me some time. I did have to go into a lot of co-op rooms, and finally I got into a group that was kind enough to level me through those and get to what I needed. Now, as far as the Swordmaster goes, and basically what you need to do is you have to have a achievement that you unlock from doing the co-op quests. Now, that particular achievement, let's see if I can find it. Climbing the Wall. Alright, so the achievement Climbing the Wall, you have to host and clear the co-op quest Amidst Severe Cliffs. Now, when I was looking up to make this particular video, I wanted to go ahead and find out more about that. So I already wrote it down, I looked it up myself. Climbing the Wall, clearing Amidst Severe Cliffs. You have to do it one time. It's in Pandemonium Tier 4, if you're looking for it. So that should be helpful enough to unlock that. You're also going to need 5 Warrior Creeds and 1000 CP, which it'll tell you when you're going to unlock the class itself. The Warrior Creeds you basically get from completing the EX quests. I recommend if you have a friend, at least one, or a group of people, go in there and just farm those up for a little bit. Me and my friend actually did it together. We spent probably a lot more time than we should have, but I don't usually participate in large groups. So I had a friend who played, me and him got together, and we were basically able to, a long period of time, get the 5 Warrior Creeds I needed to actually unlock that. Now, once you actually have the weapon and the class, the Swordmaster class and the weapon, you can actually start slime blasting right then and there, and starting to get that great XP. There is a little bit more to it than that, though. So the next thing is whenever you are going to do your slime blasting, the very first thing is obviously you've got to host a room. Now you want to go to hard, stage 3. Start, and you want to go to In a Dusk Dream. You can set this up however you wish, but if you're trying to do it solo, just make sure you're alone. So, as far as this goes, you're trying to get the most out of it, just like regular slime blasting. And what you need for that is you do need to have your item drops and everything up. So, the very first thing, I guess, we can leave our little room for a second, is you do want to make sure that you have your journey drops set up. So, as far as the journey drops go, you can really... I can only ever activate one, unfortunately. Now, in all the videos, they're activating multiple on here, and I don't see that. Now, I normally just go for the boost to XP earned. I mean, that's kind of why I'm there. Obviously, I don't play very often, so I've only got a 5% right now. 1 hour is perfectly fine. So we're going to go ahead and boost that up. And then we'll go back to our co-op room. So, I was like, okay, we got that. We have my summon. My summon... Oh, I don't think I even went over that particular portion yet. Let's talk about that. So, the summon that you want to use is basically not for damage. It's going to be for drop rate. And the reason why you want it for drop rate, 20% boost to item drop rate, is because that's just going to help you get more coins and stuff, and you don't really need the damage at all. And it's also going to help you stay in stock in your items that you're going to need while you're in there. Now, if you weren't lucky enough to pull a Kaguya, then you can get the White Rabbit. In order to unlock the White Rabbit as a summon, you'll need to go to the Almathea Island. And it's going to be stage 42. If you scroll down to the bottom, you have a quest called Sharp Ears. Now, this is an E-Rune only quest. You can run this particular quest, and there's a chance for the White Rabbit to show up. If the White Rabbit does show up and you defeat him, you will get a... Well, you have a chance, again, to get a carrot. And with that carrot, if you get enough of them, you can trade it in for the actual White Rabbit summon. Which is right here. And you probably already know about the White Rabbit summon, but I just figured I would throw it in here just in case. So this one gives you a 10% boost to item drop rate, and you can actually farm it up with your carrots. As you can see, I was actually trying to get the White Rabbit unlocked when I did happen to pull the Kaguya. So I don't need to go that route anymore. So the next part that I ran into when I was trying to do this is basically we have to get our buffs up here. So you want to have the Auspicious Scroll, the Attainment Scroll, and the Fortunate's Feather. When I first started, I didn't have any of these items, and all of the videos and all of the things that I found just said that, oh, you'll get these as you're doing your slime blasting. And they didn't really explain hardly anything. So I went ahead and looked into it and found out how to get these. And for me, the best way to actually get them. Alright. So, the Auspicious Scroll and ×5 is the best value. And let's see if I can show you. Okay. So you have this ×5 one here that you can make. There's the ×3 and the ×1 one as well. But the ×5 one was the one that I wanted to make, because if you can make 2 of them, you get 10 scrolls. That gives you one full session of slime blasting. So the Auspicious Scroll is the one for the RP. It requires a Mystical Splash ×2, a Gleaming Feather ×5, and Gleaming Sand Bottles ×5. Now the Attainment Scroll, the same thing. For the level 5 version, which is the one that I want, it requires a Mystic Feather ×2, Gleaming Water Jug ×5, and Gleaming Sand Bottles ×5. Now, the last thing that we need on here, is it? Yeah, 3 was right. The Fortunate's Feathers. Again, I like to go for the ×5 because I just have to make the 2, and then I have my full set for any time I want to slime blast. Now, the Fortunate's Feather requires the Vortical Pinwheel, and that only requires one, a Mystic Feather times 2, and a Gleaming Feather times 5. When I first started this, I didn't have like any of those items because I didn't do enough co-op. So I took the liberty to actually look up and figure out where you can get those. So total, if for one hour session of slime blasting, you're going to need 4 Mystic Splashes, 20 Gleaming Feathers, 20 Gleaming Sand Bottles, 2 Vortical Pinwheels, 8 Mystic Feathers, and 10 Gleaming Water Jugs. So I didn't know how to get those at first. I went and figured it out. I did use the wiki, and the wiki gave some great advice. And the stages that I actually used to collect what I needed was I did normal 2, Great Balls of Fire. And I played that one for the sand bottles. I averaged about 1 per. I would occasionally get 2, but on average it was about 1 per, pretty much every time. I tried a couple of the different stages, and I had varying results. That one seemed to be the most consistent for me. So this one here, Great Balls of Fire. It costs 12 AP whenever you're not on a half AP thing. So if you have nothing, it's going to be right about 240 AP to actually collect everything that you need. Now it will be a little less than that because I say it's going to average 1 per. You will get 2 occasionally and stuff like that. So it's going to be less, but if you get total bad luck and just get 1 per, it'll cost you about 240 AP total to actually get that taken care of. Now the next pieces that you actually need are the Vortical Pinwheel, Mystic Feather, and the Gleaming Feathers. Now those you can actually get by doing stage Hard 1. Hard 1 is where I have found the most luck personally. I did try a lot of the other stages as well. Now I currently do rock a fire team, so this stage was pretty simple for me. You may find luck elsewhere, but I was able to find all of those particular items, the Vortical Pinwheel, the Mystic Feather, and the Gleaming Feather, all on this stage. And normally it only took me about 5 to 8 times playing it. And again, if you're looking at 5 to 8 times, we're just going to say we'll take that one up to 8. And you got, your 20 times 8, 160 AP for that is what you're looking at roughly. And so, yeah, that's where I got that. Now, the other ones I basically got from doing the slime blasting, because when I was originally told to do this, or from the videos and the posts that I watched, they said just by doing it, you're going to get your materials. And I found that not to be true, but I did pick up quite a bit of materials by doing it. Now, where the slime blasting was, on this particular stage, I was able to get the mystical splashes and the gleaming water drugs. So, under items, for me personally, when you look at those, 146, 145, just by doing a session of slime blasting, those go through the roof, so you don't ever really have to worry about farming those once you actually do start it. You're going to have those lots and droves. So those particular ones are the easiest. Now, while I was doing this, I did discover that each session, for me, doing the solo, does take about 30 seconds. Maybe a little bit less, but I rounded up to 30. With that, basically what that gives you is 120 battles per hour. So if it's full AP cost, which is 24, that's going to be 2,880 AP. At half AP, it'll be 1,440 AP. Or, to put it into elixir terms, it would be 58 half elixirs or 29 half elixirs, depending if it's half AP or not. Now, the elixirs are kind of important because that's 58 if you don't earn any back. You will earn elixirs back by doing this. So let's just jump in here. Alright. So with this, basically what you're going to be doing is extremely simple. You come into battle, you awaken your blade. Battle's over. You gotta wait. Or they have gimmicks where you can refresh the screen and everything. So there's always a ton of different ways to make it faster, but for the purposes of this, I'm not going to do all of that. Alright, so on here again, I've got all the loot that it's getting me. Now this is here with nothing except for the XP up. Now in order to maximize the amount of XP and everything, you definitely want to activate all of the item. Again, like I said, and that's going to give you 1 hour of your boosts at 100% for all of these. If you're a solo player and don't have a crew, I recommend making a crew. I made a crew a long time ago. We have a couple of people in here, not too many though. But okay. You get access to the crew skills. And the two that we use, that I actually have at level 2 currently, is the charge boost and the boost to drop rates. Now, the drop rate boost isn't much, but again, it does help, and it's going to help those drop rates out a bit, and it's going to help you make a lot of money. So those coins and everything that drop, all of the drops that you have in there, you can sell pretty much everything. 15% drop rates right now. So that's kind of just one of the things I wanted to show you. If you're part of a crew that already has all of that stuff in place, awesome. More power to you. So you can also take advantage of that. But I mean, that's basically how it's going to work for the solo slime blasting. There's not too terribly much to it. It's basically you want to spend some time doing the quest itself to get your items. Once you actually have your items, you're going to save up your pots and you're going to use your 58 or so half elixirs or 29 in an hour, and you're just going to continuously slime blast. Now the XP that you're going to get, well, let's see what I get here. 1063. Alright, so we're at 1063 right now. It would be roughly 100% more. So, what? Maybe 2,000 something? I don't know. Definitely don't want to waste the items right now to actually find out. But I know it's quite a bit. And it is pretty simple to do. And so I'm not actually going to go through an entire slime blasting thing. I'm not going to do that right now and everything. But I just wanted to show you that a solo slime blasting can definitely be done if you have the right things. And there's probably a ton of other ways to do it as well. And if you guys know any of those ways, please let me know. Leave something in the comments, and maybe we can discuss it further if there's an easier way to go about doing this. So I hope all this information helped somebody or anybody, and if you do have any more questions about it or any advice for myself, again, please tell me. I want to thank you for watching the video. I hope you have a great day. Bye.